Hello, and welcome to another lazy episode of the Moncast. Today we'll be talking about Pokemon Red, Blue and Yellow, because we want to.
We're not lazy, we've both had really busy weeks.
We're not lazy, we're efficient.
I mean, to be fair, we have got a couple episodes backlogged, and I don't know when one is coming out, but...
This one will come out when I've not edited an episode in time, and we need a quick one.
So if this one's out now, you know exactly how Stevie's week's gone.
Yeah. We have a special guest, Pecco the hamster. She doesn't speak much, but she's very cute.
She just screams sometimes.
She doesn't scream.
The tiniest little screams.
No. She might make noises if I left her in the cage. Because she likes to climb about on the bars all the time, like a weird monkey hamster. But no, I've just got like the best fidget toy right now. A fidget toy that's chewing on my jumper. But shall we talk about Pokemon?
Yes. Let's talk about that. So today we're talking about the original Pokemon Red, Blue and Yellows. I know they did
For the
Fire
Game
Red
Boy
and Leaf Green.
and the Game Boy Color and the 3DS Virtual Console. And
But yeah, we'll talk about the
whatever
original
else.
ones.
There's some Game Boy Advance remakes as well, but I've not played those.
Yeah, Fire Red, Leaf Green.
Even though it was red and blue.
And they are... Well, the original ones were red and green.
But they were red and blue when they came out in America. But Nintendo was just like, we can't be bothered making another red, green and blue. We'll just do red and green again. But yeah, we've both played them, haven't we? I don't know which one you played.
I played... Well, I think I've mentioned it before on here, how I got a Game Boy Color at the same time as my brother. I wanted Pokemon Yellow and he wanted Pokemon Red. And then my parents went to the store and bought Pokemon Red for my brother and then saw a yellow box with a Pikachu on it. Bought that for me, and it was Pokemon Pinball. So yeah, the first game I had, Pokemon game, was Pokemon Pinball. To which, in my mum's defence, she also enjoyed pinball, and she can name 151 Pokemon at least. She knows them all.
All of the Kanto Pokemon.
Yeah, considering she's a woman in her 60s,
Prime.
like, yeah,
A woman in her prime.
I'm very impressed with her. But yeah, no. So I ended up getting Yellow a while after my brother got Red. But I ended up, I played Red whilst he was on it. So I saw bits of it first, which wasn't very fun. But then going through Yellow, I didn't realise how different the games were. You've not played Red or Blue, have you?
No, I've only played Pokemon Yellow. Like,
Okay,
Yellow's
so-
just a lot more in common with the anime than the original two had. And
But
yeah,
it's got,
Pikachu
we'll
that
talk about the
follows you around.
differences as we go along, because I think if we go through a little brief synopsis. So it starts, if anyone's ever played a Pokemon game, which I'm assuming you have,
I have.
it's pretty much the same plot that exists in all the other ones, just again. So you start off as a 10-year-old child.
Well, it's just a boy, isn't it, in these ones?
Yeah, in these it was a boy. You couldn't change your gender till Crystal, I think it was, when you could be boy or
Which
girl.
I'm looking forward to, by the way. It's going to be
When's
good.
that out?
January 26th, it's on 3DS.
Ooh.
Which is like the same day as Monster Hunter World, I think.
Oh, well, we know what I'll be playing.
And it won't be Pokemon Crystal.
No, it will not. Yeah, so you start off as a 10-year-old boy,
Who
and
wants to be the very best, like no one ever was. And to
Well-
capture them is your real test. To train them is your cause. And you travel across the land, searching far and wide. And you teach Pokemon to understand the power that's inside.
the power that's inside Pokemon.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's what you do in Pokemon.
Well, one of the big differences between Red, Blue, and Yellow is in Red and Blue, you go into the tall grass, and then Oak stops you, and then you have to go and pick a Pokemon. You have to choose between Charmander, Bulbasaur, or Squirtle. Whilst in Yellow, you go like a second square up. I've always noticed it. In Red and Blue, you always got onto the first square, and it would stop you, and a wild Pokemon wouldn't appear. But in the Yellow version, you'd go 2 squares up, and a Pikachu would be there, and then Oak catches the Pikachu, and then you go back to the Pokemon Center, and it's like, well, I've got no Pokemon left. It's like, okay, that's cool. I guess I'll just have the one you just caught because you've got no others. So you get given Pikachu, and Pikachu doesn't like being in the Pokeball, like in the TV show. As you said, it's a lot like the TV show. So Pikachu follows you around, and I actually really love it.
I loved it as well, but when I play Pokemon Yellow, I did it as Nuzlocke. So when Snuffles the Pikachu got killed, I didn't have him with me anymore.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So, but that's fine because Pikachu wasn't very good in battle anyway.
It was weird to have a game based on the mascot, and the mascot not being the strongest Pokemon. Even for its typing, it's not the strongest, and also it's a first stage Pokemon, so it wasn't going to be the best.
Well, it was a basic at that point. It wasn't even not Digivolve.
It was what?
Evolved
sorry? It was
from
what,
a baby
sorry?
Pokemon.
What was that? Say that again. Which one was that?
It was a Digiman.
Pikaman.
Yes, I'm distracted. Pecco's decided her new favourite game is to run up my sleeve and climb down my back. Stop it.
So yeah, you start off with Pikachu, and the other ones you start off with whichever one you started with. Who do you normally start with? Who would you start with out of Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle?
I probably would have started with Squirtle.
Okay. Any reason why?
I mean, I just like water types most in general.
You normally start with water types. I probably mostly start with fire types. Like I would start with Charmander because Charmander's pretty cool.
You just like your dinosaur boys.
I do like dinosaur boys. They're great. Except in Yellow, you get given the starters at different points in the story. So it all progresses pretty normally. You go to Viridian City for a little bit, stop by a guy who's angry and shows you how to catch a Pokemon, even though you own 2 Pokemon already, potentially. You go to Pewter City and you fight Brock. And I thought there would be something more in Yellow when you fight Brock because of Brock being one of the people who follow you, but no, you just fight Brock.
Yeah.
You go through Mount Moon, and then in Mount Moon, you fight Team Rocket. In Red and Blue, it's just a normal person, like a normal member of Team Rocket with Zubat. But in Yellow, it's actual Jesse and James.
Which is so much better.
But then they've got a Coughing, an Ekans, and a Meowth, and I love it.
It's very good.
So then you go to Cerulean City, and then is Cerulean the first place you get a Pokemon?
Pokemon what? Just a Pokemon?
I think it's... Oh yeah, you go up from Cerulean City, up to Cerulean Cape, and up there you find Charmander.
Yeah, you just sort of find them all scattered around, usually in Pokemon centres, just through like mini side quests or something.
Where did you get Bulbasaur from?
I cannot remember. Because basically when I did my Nuzlocke, I didn't really seek out the starters, because I didn't want to use them.
I know. It's like the adoption house somewhere south of Cerulean, I think.
Is it a lot like the anime then? The Mysterious Garden.
And Officer Jenny gives you Squirtle, saying that he's a bit of a troublemaker.
Which is true.
It would have been really cool if your Squirtle that you get has the glasses on.
You'd hardly be able to tell from behind.
True, I suppose. Yeah. Did you want to comment on the graphics a little bit? As a person who recently played it, as opposed to me who played it when it came out.
It's very clearly a Game Boy game with very pixelated sprites.
Your Pokemon sprites, it's almost like you can hear the corners. They're so big.
And they don't even have individual sprites for every Pokemon. Just like if they're of a similar species, they'll have the same icon.
In the menus.
Team.
In the menus, they're like vague shapes.
Yeah. Just like Kangaskhan and tons of other ones will look very, very similar, even though they're completely different things. Like Nidoqueen and Kangaskhan, I think, have the same icon.
And then all the birds look exactly the same.
Yeah, there's probably somewhere from 5 to 10 different icons for all of the Pokemon. But it is the first entry in the series, so they worked on it in future. In battles, it looks a lot better, I think. But it doesn't use the Game Boy Color functions that well on Pokemon Yellow, because it is just like an expanded version of Red and Blue, which were made for the Game Boy. So it's just like the full screen just gets like a purple layer or a yellow layer.
Yeah, it depends on the city. I think it changes to the colour of what it's... Well, it's supposed to be the colour of the city that you're in.
Yeah, like Lavender Town is purple. And the different Pokemon sprites will have different colours.
And then Cerulean City is just like this awful shade of dark blue, which makes everything kind of difficult to see.
Yeah. And there's a Yellow City as well.
Vermilion.
Yeah.
It's cool in theory, but it was really jarring. And like the game would visibly stop for like a split second as it changes colour.
Yeah.
It was weird.
It's just like they had to do something to justify releasing it on the Game Boy Color, but they didn't really want to do that much like changes to Red and Blue.
They had
they probably developed like a whole new engine for the actual sequels, like Gold and Silver, when those came out.
It was cool to have Pikachu talk though, even though the audio for it is so awful.
Oh yeah.
It sounds like they recorded Pikachu whilst there was a tsunami going on or a hurricane. It's so broken.
Did Pikachu continue to talk in later games as well, or was it like just in like Pokemon X when they brought that back, where Pikachu said its name like it does in the anime?
It's only Pokemon X that brought it back.
Yeah.
But yeah, Yellow was the first one for it to talk. Also, it does the following. I want to talk about that. I was going to talk about the story, but honestly, it's a predictable story. Apart from there's a couple of elements which match the anime.
Yeah, and like there's a cruise ship that you go on at one point.
The SS Anne. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Must be ages ago then that I played it, because I was playing it at the time when we recorded that special with May, I think. Because I remembered it then as well. So it's definitely been a while since I played it at this point.
That was in both as well, the SS Anne bit.
Yeah. No, it's called the Saint Anne in one of them.
Probably. I don't know.
But,
I don't want to check.
It's hardly any different.
Pardon?
It's hardly any different.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, the Pikachu following you, I really like. My favourite Pokemon game is Heart Gold, and part of it is because you get your Pokemon to follow you, and having this precursor to it was really cool, even though it was only Pikachu. It was still nice to have Pikachu following you, so wherever you go, say if you went into a cave, or if you went to the beach, or if you're in a Pokemon Center, you can turn around and press A and you'll talk to Pikachu, and it would react to different things. So like, if you went into one of the Pokemon Centers and there's a Jigglypuff, you talk to the Jigglypuff and it sings, you turn around and talk to Pikachu and he's fast asleep.
That's cute.
Stuff like that I really enjoy, because it's for me, it's more enjoyable than the Pokemon Care thing that you do they did it in X and Y, and they do it now in Sun and Moon, because that feels so chambered to me. You have to go into a menu, then click on your Pokemon, and then it puts them in like a weird box which isn't part of the real world, and you feed them a thing and you rub their face a bit, and like, that's cool, but it's so disjointed and disconnected from the main game, and if you want to do that, it takes you away and it takes so much time, as opposed to just turning around and pressing A and then either hopping or making a noise and then it just being all like they played with the leaves on the ground. Like, that's really cute for me and I really enjoy it.
Yeah, with the Pokemon and me, it feels more just like a tool that's there for people that want to boost friendship, more than a thing to actually make the Pokemon seem real or like part of the world.
But having this version of it, like even with this one, it was sort of in between, because you'd have a little portrait of Pikachu and he'd be happy or he'd be sad, or he'd be, if he gets poisoned and stuff, he looks really unwell, but it was really cool. What else was we going to talk about?
We could talk about the battling.
Okay, there is another bit I want to talk about after, I just remembered, but yeah, so battling, what do you think of the original battles?
I was quite surprised at how little it's actually changed since then. Like, they've hardly added anything into it since, because it's just a pretty solid battle system. The only things that were really any different were like some of the type weaknesses and things, and how broken the special stats were.
I think they haven't got special attack and special defense. Like,
no, it's just entirely put into that one special. So if you have a Pokemon that's high in special, that's better than a Pokemon that's high in like attack or high in defense. Because basically being high in special is high in special attack and special defense.
Yeah, it was kind of broken.
Which is why the psychic Pokemon were so good in that first game. Some of the typings were really weird in that first generation.
Like what?
Like, there's just some differences there. Like, there's definitely different things about the psychics and the ghosts I'm just going to look up.
Psychic's weak to Ghost. Ghost's weak to... No, wait. Psychic is weak... Ghost is weak to Psychic, but also weak to Ghost, I think?
Where's the Gen 1? There it is. In Gen 1, I'm just trying to work out what the difference is. Where's Psychic? There's Psychic. Effective against Ghost, but in Gen 1... Oh no, it's just like normal effect against Ghost. Ghost's just really odd. It's not affected by normal or fighting.
Yeah, well that still carries over.
I'm trying to work out what exactly it was. Oh yeah, Ghost doesn't work against psychic types.
Oh, okay.
Whereas it does in later entries.
Wait, why would it not work against psychic types?
I don't know. But
Because
Ghost isn't effective against normal or psychic in the first game.
Because Ash gets Haunter to defeat Sabrina.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't line up with where the anime thinks the types are.
To be
But
fair,
they
the amount of
fix it
time
in Gen 2.
Brock has told us that a rock type is strong against grass, etc.
I mean, no.
Did you ever manage to get Surfing Pikachu?
No, I didn't.
I don't know if they can do it in the Virtual Console version, but in the original version, if you connected it to Pokemon Stadium, then you'd unlock this south of Fuchsia City. There's a little shack, Surf Shack, and if you go there, you can play a Surfing Pikachu minigame, and it was really cool.
I honestly don't know if it'd be in the Virtual Console.
I don't know how they'd manage to pull it off, but I assume that you can just do it. But yeah, I used to have a little Surfing Pikachu minigame, and you'd go ride over waves, and you'd press left or right to flip over and stuff.
Apparently there is a way to do it.
Oh, cool.
There's some changes to the Virtual Console.
Well, it can't exactly be a 1-for-1.
Yeah, apparently you can just play it without having to do any of the connecting to Pokemon Stadium stuff.
That's
you
cool.
just need to have Pikachu in your party and you could do the minigame.
That's really cool. Yeah, no, it was fun finding that and having that in the game. Do
you want to hear some other changes as well?
Yeah, sure.
They changed Jinx's sprite so that
For
it
obvious
wasn't...
reasons.
Yeah,
no.
Changed it from black to purple.
From problematic racism.
Yeah. They added the wireless trading so that you don't need any of the Game Boy Link cables that you used to have.
I used to have a purple one, like a clear purple one.
A purple link cable.
And then a clear red one. It was nice.
I've never owned an actual Game Boy.
Oh,
because I'm young.
I've got a Game Boy and a Game Boy Color. I had a lime green one. It's amazing. I still have it with my copy of Pokemon Yellow in it.
And the only other real changes they've made is to update some of the animations to fix flashing lights causing photosensitive epilepsy stuff.
Yeah, there are a couple attacks which make
Blizzard,
the screen go a bit nuts.
Explosion, Psychic, Self-Destruct. It's just like a list here of different ones. I could go through them all, but it'd be very boring. But yeah, it's good that they've actually updated it for the Virtual Console so that it's pretty much faithful to the original. There's nothing significant missing in there at all.
So, what did you think of the gameplay?
Well, going into it, knowing what Pokemon games are like, I honestly was just like, it's just a very simplified Pokemon game.
Did you miss the B button?
What, for fast-forwarding text?
No, for running.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. Is that not in there? Is that not in Pokemon Yellow?
No, you can't run in Pokemon Yellow, Red or Blue. Or Gold and Silver, I don't think.
Wait.
I'm pretty sure...
Are you sure about that?
Ruby, Sapphire and Emerald were the first ones you can run in because you get the running shoes.
No, you do get the bicycle though. I'm pretty certain.
But you can't run.
Well, I bicycled anyway, so I didn't miss them really.
Oh.
I liked biking. I pretty much always use bicycles.
I agree with what you said though. It does feel like a much more simplified version of the games because they had so much more to build on. Like this is step one basically on their many steps of Pokemon games. Yeah, the typings were weird. Like Magnemite is just electric type instead of electric and steel because steel didn't exist and dark didn't exist yet.
Yeah, there's a few missing ones.
I'm trying to think of
there's not Fairy obviously because that only came in Gen 6. It has dragon types apparently.
Yeah, it's only Dragonite.
Only
Dragonite. Yeah.
Who's only super effective against Dragonite.
but they're resistant to everything else. So, apart from ice. So
They're not resistant. In Gen 1, Dragon is super effective against Dragon, weak to Dragon, and then just, like, normal effectiveness against everything else. Because there's just, like, no Dragon Pokemon. So I guess I just didn't really bother thinking about it.
I thought they were weak to ice.
Not in Gen 1.
Oh, okay.
It's just where they make some changes. I guess they've kind of worked out that having Dragon only be weak to Dragon kind of didn't work. It just made it so you had to have a certain Pokemon to be super effective against it. A lot of the typings are very similar, but then there's just some changes that work out quite well.
What do you think of the available Pokemon? Just the original 150?
Oh, I love them because I'm just a big Gen 1 fan. I basically got into Pokemon at first through the trading card game, when it was just the Gen 1 cards. So, like, Gen 1 is just my favourite one. I had that red Pokédex toy with, like, the flip-open screen. And that was really good.
It is really nostalgic to play the game. I kind of prefer Fire Red and Leaf Green, though, because of the running, and it's a bit smoother. But it doesn't have the... There's a certain nostalgia in the sparseness of Red and Blue. How it's all monochrome and blocky noises. It's really nice.
Everything's blocky. It's just blocky, man. Also, correction to my stuff about Dragon earlier, because I've realised that I'm reading the chart wrong.
Oh.
So, Dragon takes half damage from fire, water, electric, and grass, and takes double damage from ice and dragon. So you were right. Ice is super effective.
I was going to say, because I'd end up getting a Lapras or a Jinx.
But Dragon is only super effective against Dragon in the first game. So I've cleared that up. I'm not an idiot. I could read a basic chart.
Well.
On the second attempt.
You can read a chart if given 2 tries. What do you think of the story, then?
There isn't one.
There is. The entire thing is a story.
It's there. You go from gym to gym, get the badges, go to the Elite Four, win, and then you complete the Pokédex, and you've
Team
done
Rocket.
the game. Yeah, you beat Team Rocket, but that's sort of a given.
It's a given because it existed in this game.
You do
like
that. There's always just the big bad team that you end up defeating single-handedly.
There's always like the small fight before, where you'll fight maybe 1 or 2, or you'll go to like a secret hideout of theirs, and then there'll be the big thing where they either take over a building or a town or a city, and then you've got to go and infiltrate. And this was in Celadon. You had to go to Silphcoat and no, Saffron, sorry. But yeah, no, it's like a classic story. It's not got all the extra, I don't know what else to call it, that you get in things like X and Y and Alola X. Oh, be friends with your Pokemon. Yeah, I just want to build a world based on dreams and alternate realities. It's like, there are some monsters that people have, and people are now using them to take over buildings for money. Probably.
I do like that the big bad boss of Team Rocket does end up being the last gym leader as well, though. Giovanni's cool.
Yeah, I like Giovanni.
And there's quite a few things that sort of went between different towns, I think. Like, you'd start something in one town and you'd then go back to a previous town, stuff like that. Or they just have unique things in there, like the casino.
I spent so much time playing.
Did you want that Porygon?
I didn't, but I just wanted the money, because I then would have the ability to get the Porygon if I wanted it.
Oh, the poor Porygon's just like, buy me. And you're just like, no, you cost money.
I think I wanted the TMs. Remember that? TMs were one use.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was
I forgot about that.
It was so risky.
Oh, the TMs.
In
a Nuzlocke as well.
Pardon?
In a Nuzlocke as well, where if you use it on a Pokemon and then they get killed.
Or HMs, where you can't unlearn them. That wasn't fun.
I can't even remember who ended up being my HM slave. I think it was a Geodude called Rock and Roll. Oh no, it was just called Unroll, because he was a rock Pokemon, so it was Rock and Roll. I have dumb name ideas.
Yes, you do. Like Chris.
Chris the Hitmonlee was great because he was named after Christopher Lee.
Okay.
But then he died. Which is sad. I've had a few deaths in there. I've forgotten most of them, but Chris the Hitmonlee perseveres in my memory.
In fact, one of the Pokemon episodes we've released, one of the Moncast episodes we've released is in memory of Chris, I think it's called.
It's just in memory of Chris the Hitmonlee.
Yeah.
He was a good Hitmonlee. Oh, there was also Lucky the Kadabra, spelt Lucky with 2 E's instead of a Y. Because I was just like, he was my first encounter in a route, and of course with Abra you have to basically throw the ball straight away. And I just I got lucky and caught him. So I called him Lucky. And then he got murdered against one of the gym leaders. And then I think I ended up using a Raichu. It might not have been a Raichu. Oh no, it would have been... I think Darren the Hypno ended up avenging Lucky the Kadabra. Psychic Pokemon are quite good in that game.
Overall thoughts of it?
Overall, it's interesting to go back and play it, having played later Pokemon games, but I don't think it holds up quite as well. I think without that nostalgia there isn't really much incentive to replay it, unless you're desperate to get all the Pokemon.
It is very dated, very dated.
I'm not planning on going back and playing it, ever. Even if I decide to complete my decks, or my living decks, or whatever, if I decide to do one of those things and give up hundreds of hours of my life.
I do think if you do want to replay an old game, you wouldn't first jump to Red, Blue, or Yellow.
No, you'd go to the Game Boy Advance remakes, which are probably much better anyway.
Yeah, I when I've done replays, I've done Fire Red because, like I said, it's just a more smoother and polished version.
They've worked out the kinks at that point. They just sort of had the formula settled from the second game onwards. They just sort of worked out what worked, stuck with that, and just put little things on the side. They could go, look at the new thing, you need the new Pokemon game. And that's how Pokemon games have gone in the last 20 whatever years.
Enjoy Lucario.
But it's just a very solid formula, so you can't really complain about it.
Enjoy Lucario.
Broke, don't fix it.
Enjoy Lucario.
Are we breaking up again?
I'm talking about Lucario.
Why have you brought up Lucario?
Because I'm just saying that's their new strategy is you will enjoy Lucario. It's in everything.
I do enjoy Lucario.
Honestly, it's got a movie, it's in Smash, it's in Pokken. Pokken I can understand, but it's of all the Pokemon you could bring over to Smash, it had to be Lucario.
I don't know if Diamond and Pearl were out at the time that Smash Brothers was coming out as well, because that'd make sense, because Lucario played a part in Diamond and Pearl.
Maybe.
You basically got one.
It's everywhere. It's got a manga about thieves. They're called Phantom Thief I think it's called the Phantom Thief Pokemon or something like that. When I hear Phantom Thief, all I can think is Persona, but apparently Phantom Thief Pokemon. And I think the list of Pokemon you could get that could be thieves, I don't think Lucario first.
No, I wouldn't either. I'd probably think more Spinarak.
Or a dark type, like a Sneasel.
No, Spinarak.
Or a ghost type.
Or Spinarak.
Just not Lucario. I've gone on a Lucario tangent. I don't like Lucario, by the way. Spoiler alert.
Now I'm earning money. I can finally get that Lucario amiibo to complete my Pokemon amiibo collection.
Why? He's not even good.
He is. He's
name one person who enjoys Lucario.
Me.
You're lying to yourself. You know it. I know it.
Lucario's good.
Ugh.
He's like a blue wolf fox man. And he's got spikes on the back of his hands for no reason. And it's cool. And
also torso.
Yeah.
What are they for? What do they do? Who is she?
It's just steals stuff. I don't know, maybe energy is attracted to it. Or something.
If you had to rate the game out of 10, if you want to do yellow and I'll do red and blue.
If I were to rate yellow...
Out of 10.
I'd probably give it... I'm thinking 7.
Okay.
Because it is still a really good game, it just doesn't hold up that well.
I would have given them a 6. I would have given yellow a 6 and given red and blue a 5 because they're okay. They're like basic. That is the average. But I think yellow gets a bit more because it's got little treats for anime fans. So you get all the starters, and you get Pikachu, and Pikachu follows you around and stuff. And there's the color changing in the different cities. Like that was really nice.
It's pretty good for the price that you spend on it.
Have you seen some of the red and green sprites?
I'm guessing they're just like the yellow ones, but no colour.
No, they with the Japanese version of like red and yellow, no, red and green. They were some pretty. Let me see if I can find them. They're
Show me the sprites.
They're really bad. They're like so kind of ugly in a horrifying way.
As opposed to just ugly in an ugly way. Clicking noises all the time.
Pardon?
I'm clicking on things. Click, click. I'm sure our listeners will appreciate any and all clicking noises and key typing noises they hear.
Oh, God. Oh, some of these are just the worst.
Then share them with me.
Where do I begin? Oh, what's wrong with that Gengar? Oh.
Send them to me, Sam.
I just did a Google search for Pokemon sprites red-green, and it's the first image from Reddit, and it's just a comparison between the sprites from green and then red and blue. So these aren't even the ones you'd see in yellow, because they did different ones in yellow. But some of them are just... Oh, dear. What's wrong with Bellsprout? Oh, no. Oh, no.
Just send them to me, Sam.
Just do a Google.
I can't be bothered.
Oh, okay. How do I
I'm too busy adding things to my watch later.
Okay. I'll send you them on Slack so you can have a look at them. Check out some of these nightmares. This isn't even yellow, so you got different ones. That you got the ones in yellow are fairly nice, if I'm honest. But these are just some unfortunate messes. Even though, like, comparing the green ones to the red and blue ones, they don't get much better. But there are just some bad times in there.
Ooh. Oh, I've seen, like, something like this where they basically modded these sprites.
Oh, look at Mew.
Ooh.
Oh, look at Green's version of Mew. What is that?
So is red and blue on the right, green on the left?
Yeah. Oh, look at Mew. Is it okay? Oh, it looks... Is that its skull poking up the top? Oh, it's so
I love
unfortunate.
how angry Eevee is in green.
Oh, Eevee is pissed.
Oh my god, Drowsy. Drowsy in green's amazing. He's on the left column.
Oh, yeah. He's got like a weird third eye.
His nose is so big. Oh.
This is great podcast work, by the way.
Look at these visual things you can't see. We'll just have to, like, share the picture. We'll share a picture link in the show notes or something. I don't know.
Do it on Twitter. We'll just post it on Twitter when the episode
It'll be
comes
on
out.
Twitter and in the show notes, so you can look for it.
Yeah, if you just have a look at these this bad time. Vulpix though in green. It looks really cute. It definitely looks like a fox.
I'm scanning for Vulpix now. Where is Vulpix?
It's like the fourth one down on the left.
Oh yeah.
And then the one in red and blue looks cute as well.
God, Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff.
Yeah, they've seen things. Wigglytuff's eyes are different sizes.
I know, that's the best bit. They look like someone beat them over the head with a stick.
I mean, seriously, come on. Some of these.
Look at Venomoth. Or Venonat, even.
Golbat's just mouth, and it's horrifying mouth.
In both games. I don't know which version of Kabutops I like best. The one where he's looking straight ahead is a bit unnerving.
I think I prefer the one who's looking straight ahead. His eyes are a bit off in green. Oh, Articuno. It looks like just a goose or something in green.
It looks like a horse.
Seeking has seen some horrible things.
I'm just trying to go off of like Pokemon numbers I can remember, and it's not helping.
Seeking's like 3 up from the bottom, above Snorlax and Lapras on the left. Just in green, it just looks like a nightmare. And Lickitung as well, its tongue cuts off.
It does.
Oh, it's just... Oh, goodness.
Hitmonchan's
and if you've never seen
hiding.
Hitmonchan before, look at Hitmonchan in green and...
Those don't look like fists.
If you didn't know what Hitmonchan looks like, you wouldn't know what that is.
Marowak's cute.
Marowak?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all round. Cubone looks a bit terrifying.
Oh my god, Exeggutor's expressions in green.
Mm.
And then it's not even any better in red. It's just evil.
Cool.
Yeah, I think we've done enough looking at these.
I think you'll have to cut that down to a couple seconds or something.
Oh wait, I need to look at Butterfree first. Butterfree looks a bit warped in green, but in red and blue they look good. And Caterpie's just like the same in both.
Cool. Let's end this so I can go and sleep.
You can go and sleep, and I can go and play video games.
Stay awake till 6.
That is the end.
Join us again next time. We'll be talking about something else.
Probably Mon related.
Hopefully Mon related.
If not, we're dead.
Thank you for listening. You can find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Stitcher. Why do we say this? Because they found us already.
Well, they can find us on other things that might be more convenient for them.
Like Twitter.
And we want reviews. We like reviews. We never get any, but
And
we
comments.
like them. Give us your reviews. Why won't you review us? Do you not love us enough?
It was in this episode that Stevie got really angry for some reason.
Why do our listeners hate us, Sam?
They don't.
Why do we never get reviews?
Because you're scaring them.
I'm dying, Sam.
They're leaving the room.
Ugh.
They're leaving. They're running away.
You can do the Facebook and the Twitter and the Discord. And with the Whirlwind, I don't do anything anymore. And we have an email that no one's ever mailed to, ever.
Okay, this is getting sad now. We can stop.
Okay, I'll stop pretending to be sad.
I'm going to go and do something else now.
You could also support me on Patreon, where I'll be really grateful and won't burst into tears.
Bye.
Bye.
And
Leave us reviews, or else.